Hello, everyone. My name is Callie Teagarden. Welcome to this Promptings webinar. I am so glad that you are going to take time and learn about promptings. I will have to tell you, when I found this company, I was looking for a simple way to connect with my clients. I was building a business on the side of my full-time job, and I needed a simple way to send birthday thank you and holiday cards out people. Well, what I didn't expect when I found this system was that not only was it going to help me connect with people, but it was also going to help me connect with my purpose and put me on a pathway to prosperity. And you guys, I got started back using this system back in 2009. Yes, we've been around that long. And I had no idea the course my life was going to take because of it. So before I get too far into that, I want to bring on our founder and chief visionary officer, Mr. Cody Bateman, so he can tell you why he started Promptings and the best way for you to act on your promptings. So Cody, please take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cody Bateman. I'm the founder of the Promptings movement. Appreciate you being with us tonight. I want to share with you a couple of stories. One is how this whole thing started in the first place and what our mission is and what we plan to do to change this world of ours by helping millions of people act on their promptings. We hope that you're one of them. So it all started back in 1989. I accepted a job offer. I just graduated from college and accepted a job offer to work for an ad agency in New York City. So when we accepted that job, we packed up all of our belongings. I was newly married at the time, had a little baby girl. We packed up all of our belongings, put it in a U-Haul truck. We were driving this little car of ours in front of the U-Haul truck. And we went over to my mom and dad's house to say bye to the family. So we said our goodbyes. And I remember coming out in the front of my parents' home, and we got into the car and we put little baby Whitney in her car seat, and Jody got into the passenger side, and I went to get into the car. And as I went to get in, I looked over in a lot adjacent to my parents' home. My older brother, Chris, was moving some vehicles around in this lot. And at that moment, I had what I call a prompting, an intuitive thought that I needed to stop what I was doing, go over to my brother, give him a hug, tell him I love him, and say goodbye. That was the prompting. And we were in a hurry. There were people waiting for us. There was another couple that was moving with us that was driving the U-Haul truck. And we all needed to leave. And so what do you think happened? I ignored the prompting. I remember getting in the car and driving away, and I honked and waved at my brother as we drove off, and he waved back at me. I'll never forget the look on his face. And we drove away, and we drove all the way across the country, moved into our new home in New York City area. And a couple of months went by and everything was going well until one night I got a phone call about 2 o'clock in the morning. And my mother was on the other end of that line, and she tearfully let me know that my brother Chris had just been killed in an accident. Now, that was devastating news. In fact, I remember when I got that news, the first thing I thought of is that I had this prompting that I needed to say bye to him, and I ignored it. So at that very moment, I made a promise to my brother Chris, to myself and to my brother Chris. I said to him, I said, I'm sorry, brother, that I ignored that prompting. And I promise you that when I have promptings to reach out in kindness to others, I will act. And I'll do all I can to help as many people as I can do the same thing. That was in 1989. Excuse me. That's when this whole thing started. That was the dream that was put into my mind at that moment. And everything I did from that day forward was to figure out how to deliver the promise. I needed to act on my promptings. I needed to help other people act on their promptings. Now, keep in mind, this is a long time ago. This is in 1989. It was even pre-internet days. We didn't even have the internet back then. So the concept and idea that I had was I had to find a way to help people act on their promptings. And I knew that for myself, the way for me to to express myself, my appreciation, my kindness to others, it was a lot easier for me to write those things. Like if I wrote somebody a message in a card, it was a lot easier for me to express myself in a card than it was verbally. So I figured early on that whatever I did, it was going to have something to do with greeting cards, because a greeting card was a simple way for me to act on a prompting. If I had a prompting to say thank you to somebody, I could quickly send them a card with the words of kindness in them. So I started doing all kinds of things pre-internet days to try to figure out how to do that. You can't even imagine the things that we tried to do, but this thing called the internet came along. And when the internet came along and I saw the possibilities of the internet, the light bulb went on that, man, if there was a way that you could send a real greeting card over the internet. So if I could call up the internet and pick a card and type in a message and click it, and somehow it went over the internet to a printer and the printer would print it and send it for me, man, that would be cool. So we went on a long journey to try to figure out how to do that. We actually pioneered the technology that calls for through the internet for variable print on demand on printers. Nobody had done that before us. And we did that back in 2001 and 2001 and 2. So we finally had created what I call a mechanism. We created a mechanism to help people act on their promptings. And what it was is the mechanism allowed me as a person to go onto the internet, onto the mechanism, and choose a greeting card and be able to type a message into the greeting card and then put in an address for that person and push the send button. And then over the internet, it would go to our printers. We would stuff it, stamp it, and mail it out for you. And we started doing this way back in 2002 was when we first started doing this over the internet. Nobody had done it before. So it was a powerful mechanism. In fact, you know, once we had the mechanism to do this, I wanted to start changing my habits and other people's habits. The habit I wanted to create was I sent cards to people every single day. So one of the habits that I had was, is that the first person I thought of, I would send a card to. And I'm going to share a story about this card right here. So I got up one morning and my habit was first person that comes to mind. The first person that came to mind that day was a lady by the name of Pat Chase. She does the music at the church I went to. So I went to my mechanism that we had created. We had about, I don't know, maybe 100 saved greeting cards in there. And this was one of them. And it says beauty on the front. So I picked this card. It says beauty on the front. And the inside it said things are beautiful if you love them. So I want you to watch the words that I wrote in this card to Pat Chase, who does the music at the church. So right from my computer over the internet, I typed these words. I said, Pat, just a quick note to let you know, I appreciate what you do for us at the church. You make music beautiful, and I'm a better person for it. Your friend, Cody. That's simple. And I clicked the send button, sent it off to her. Now I want to explain to you what happened when she received the card. A couple of weeks went by and I show up at church and she comes up to me and says, Cody, first of all, I want to thank you for this card you sent me. And I want to tell you what happened the day I received it. She says, I got up in the morning and I went into the front room of my house. I was going to pick up the receiver of the telephone, my intent was to call the leader of the church to let him know that I was no longer going to do the music at the church. She said, I don't remember a time when somebody thanked me for the service I provided. The only thing I got were complaints as to why I didn't play this music or that music. She says, and I was really frustrated. And so I was about to quit. She said, but something told me to go get the mail first. Now we know that that's called a prompting. She was prompted to go get the mail first. So she did. She hung up the receiver of the phone, did not make the phone call. She went out to her mailbox. The only piece of mail on a Thursday morning was this card. She opened up the envelope from her mailbox, read this card that you're looking at. She says, Cody, I want you to know that I was at my mailbox and I openly wept, she said. And I want you to know that when I went back in the house, I did not place the phone call. and I'm not going to place the phone call. I will keep doing the music of the church, and I will never, ever, ever forget you for how you made me feel with that card. Thank you very much. That's the power of acting on promptings. Now, we've come a long ways since then. Our job now is to help millions of people act on their promptings every single day. A big thing that we tell people is to send heartfelt messages of kindness, just like the story I just shared with you. We have thousands of people all over the world that are doing this. They're sending heartfelt messages of kindness to people. Now, you don't think that can change the world? It's changing the world. Millions of promptings have been acted upon, and we're just barely getting started. But here's the beauty of it. When you send these messages of kindness, there's amazing positive energy that comes back to you, the sender. And when that energy comes back to you, the sender, it really taps into who you are and what you're meant to do as a person. It's an amazing feeling to have. All you got to do is send kindness to people every day. It creates appreciation energy, and you begin to appreciate who you are as a human being. So we ended up creating a mechanism that really connects you with two key things. And we call that the promptings process. And the promptings process allows you to connect with people on the right side of the screen and with purpose on the left side of the screen. And that's what this is. So when you send out kindness to others, you're connecting with people all the time. You know, we've become the best relationship marketing tool in the world today because of this. Because a lot of businesses use us to follow up with their clients or customers. But what we teach is to send heartfelt messages to them. There's system cards that will do it automatically too. But the best way to create genuine human connection is these heartfelt messages. So over the years, we became the best relationship marketing tool on the planet because we had a way for you to act on promptings and appreciate people that you did business with. So that's just one example of how this promptings process connects you with people. But guess what? It also connects you with purpose, because that energy is coming back to you as a person. It ignites your inner voice that tells you who you are as a person, that connects you with your purpose. Okay, it brings up that whole new energy of who you are as a person. And we have since created all kinds of tools and different things to help you to nourish that inner voice, to nourish those inner promptings. Some of the best personal development programs on the market today come from promptings, because we have ways to teach you to use this process, this mechanism, to initiate positive law of attraction principles in your life. It's an amazing thing. So if you utilize this, if you use the mechanism to reach out to others, you can use the same mechanism to reach to yourself. What it does is creates a pathway to prosperity for you. That's where we've come. We started it just to send cards to people, but it ended up being what you have on this screen today. Now, I'm going to turn the time back to our host. We have numerous people that are going to share their stories with you tonight of how the mechanism and how the process has transformed their life. Thank you for spending the time with me tonight, and you're in good hands with our host and with some amazing people that act on their promptings every day. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Cody, for sharing. I'm so glad you were on here tonight. And I had talked about, when I was sharing my story, what I didn't expect was how using this system and connecting with people was also going to connect me with my purpose. And that was because that energy that comes back to me as a sender, when I send out, it comes back in. And that energy is what helped connect me with my purpose and has made me a consistent person using this system, because I know the power of it. We've got two guests that are going to share the power of this system. But before we go there tonight, I want to show you the promptings.com website. The person who invited you here will get back with you, or get back with them when we're done. They can send you their specific website. But just to remind you, acting on your promptings, right, allows you to appreciate others and attract prosperity. Promptings are those intuitive thoughts that call you to take positive action, and promptings will create genuine human connection and guide you to your personal genius. The best way to act on your promptings, well, those are the heartfelt messages. And we have established a promptings mechanism that makes it easy just to do that. Our promptings mechanism is also known as send out cards. Many people have heard about send out cards. This may be the first time you've ever heard about it, or you've heard about it before, but let me tell you, you're in an amazing place to learn about this system. And I'm going to bring on our two guests to share their stories. And if you've never sent a card on this system, wait till we're done, because I have a really cool special challenge that we've got going on right now called the 10 card challenge. So our first guest, Marcia Solberg out of Oregon, is on here tonight. Marcia, I know you've been using the system actually a year longer than I have. You're a former music teacher, and I know this system touched your heart, and you're going to share some of the stories on how you've used it to act on those promptings and really help put you on your purpose and pathway to prosperity.
Yeah, thanks so much, Callie, for having me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I love hearing other people's card stories, and I hope that maybe mine will inspire you or somebody on what you can do with this mechanism. Do I ask you for the slides?
Yep, I'm bringing it up. Just give me 1 second.
That's okay. That's okay. Callie mentioned I've been with Send Out Cards since 2008, which is 15 years. And the person you see on the screen, the main person you see, is my dad, who at the time that I found Send Out Cards was 95. And he was an amazing person, but he had moved to a senior community. And when I went to visit the senior community, I first realized, people were not on devices as they are now. But the mailed in sign was the most important sign in that community. And you'd better watch out, because they were heading to the mailboxes. And the sad reality was there was not mail in those mailboxes. So I had started trying to write him handwritten cards, just generic cards. And when I found Send Out Cards, I thought, oh, this is magic, because pictures truly are worth 1,000 words. And so I would often, I babysat the 3 kids on the right of your screen. They are my niece's children, so they're my great nieces and nephew. And every week I would bring my computer and my camera, and we'd send a card to Great Grandpa John. But my dad taught me the most valuable lesson that has really served me well with this mechanism of Send Out Cards. And that is when he received one of the cards that I would often send postcards of my husband and I on a trip, or the grandkids. And I would be talking to him on the phone, and I'd say, well, Dad, did you get the card from the kids? Oh, yeah, that was great. Thank you so much. But the cards on the left of your screen, when he was the subject of the cards, and I made them about him and made him feel special, not only did I experience joy when I hit the send button, but I knew he experienced great joy when I got the phone call that said, when did you take that picture of me? Which trip was that on? Was that when we went to visit Bill and his family? And they just made him a very important person at his senior living, because he received mail and he could share the mail. And I knew that when I went to visit, because people would say, now, are you the daughter that sends those great cards? And it was awesome. It was simply awesome that relationship was so amazing for 2 years. And then the next slide, this little gal, and I actually have known her and her family since she was a babe in arms. She was still nursing at her very first Relay for Life, because her family and I were both very involved in our community, American Cancer Society. And that event was really important to all of us. And so at the last year that we did that together, there was a wonderful entertainment group, a dance troupe on stage. And I knew that Juliet, watching her at age 4, she was going to be part of that dance troupe. And so her parents actually have a media business. So they do a lot of posting and social media. And so when the postcard program was first really being talked about, her mom posted this picture. on Facebook and said, please allow me to brag. It's such a proud mama moment of seeing Juliet on stage. And I literally grabbed my phone, downloaded that picture, and probably in less than 1 minute, took that and put it on a postcard and simply put proud mama post, and off it went in the mail. And then the next year of her dancing, you can see that she has matured a little bit. And this was this year. And she was the Queen of Hearts, and this was their whole routine that they took to all of these competitions. And so I just put it on a 5x7 flat card because I thought they might want to put it in a frame, and just put the cutest Queen of Hearts I've ever seen. Now, you notice that I don't sign these because they know that they come from Marcia, and they affectionately at their house refer to Marcia Mail. And I get great joy when I get a text that says, oh, the Marcia Mail made people happy today. So go to the next one. And this was the end of the year. This dance troupe has professional pictures taken of all of their dancers. And I knew that those pictures needed to be 5x7, and a 3-panel card was going to be absolutely perfect. There were no words needed on this one either. On the left, you see the front of the card. The 3 panels in the middle simply said Juliet, May 2023. On the bottom, it just said simply gorgeous. The middle picture is the one that I would normally put the flap that comes inside and put a message on, but I didn't need to put a message. I wanted to use as many of those pictures as I could. And then on the right-hand side, where her legs are kind of spread and she's in a strange position, I put that on the back of the card, where I normally would put my branding if it were a business related card, or if I wanted somebody to have my information. But I just wanted this card to be Juliet and all Juliet. And I got a phone call that said, oh my gosh, this card blew us away. And the quality of this card is amazing. It will be by Juliet's bed forever, I'm quite sure, on her nightstand. So those are the heartfelt cards that I've just used pictures and made a difference. But I was lucky to be at Promptings to Prosperity, our new event that happened for the first time in July. And I would highly recommend it to anybody that needs some really deep personal development. And we were challenged to send a group send, which of course group sends are like my Christmas cards. I send probably 4 or 5 to customers and clients and affiliates on a regular basis, just to stay top of mind and encouraging words and that kind of thing. But they're a group send, and they know that everybody's getting that same card. And we were challenged to really take a group send, a small group send of 10, and really make it as heartfelt as we could. And my friend Anne, I've known for many years, actually, I shared with Kelly that I actually sang at her wedding. And she's had a really tough, I would say the last 5 years of her life have probably been the most challenging. And so this was the inside of the card that all 10 women got. But it said, hey, Anne, I sat down today to think of 10 women who inspire me with their strength, determination, inspiration, and get it done attitude. You not only inspire me, but always provide encouragement through a text, a post, a kind word, or just your presence. We never know how much we influence others if they don't let us know. Today, I wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you in my life. And again, on the back, not by branding, not any information about me, it does have my address there, but I grabbed a picture from the internet that was gratitude is the open door to abundance. And it just said everything that I wanted to say to these 10 women, all of whom I will mention sent me a text or gave me a call. But I got Anne's permission to share her text back to me, which really touched me. It said, Marcia, I received your card today and I'm extremely flattered with your compliments. Sometimes I still feel like a basket case with my head cut off and cannot make decisions. But it's friends like you who keep me going. So I guess the feelings are mutual because I very much admire you and appreciate your friendship. Thank you for the lovely card, Anne. I am so thankful to Promptings and Cody and Jody Bateman for this mechanism, because when we say it changes people's lives, and Cody mentioned it changes not just the sender's life, but the person who receives that card, those are testimonials for for what send out cards means to me. So thank you so much. I went a little over time. I'm sorry, I'm talking fast.
Marcia, that was beautiful. And it's all about, life is all about building relationships. Business is about relationships, right? Maya Angelou said, people don't remember what we say, they remember how we made them feel. And you definitely make people feel special and important. And that is the power of this system. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories tonight. Next, I want to bring up our next guest, Mike Limmer. Speaking of sales, Mike and I have that in common. Our backgrounds are both sales. Mike, I think like me, you were looking for a system to help you in sales, but you realized it is so much more. So I would love for you to share your stories with everyone tonight.
Thank you, Kelly. Great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation to share tonight. When I look back at so many of those that have shared before me, I realize I am in really good company. So I am humbled to be asked to share stories here tonight. And so I'm really appreciative of this time. And thank you, Marcia, for sharing your stories as well. So the first story that I want to share with you is a story from started as a visitation to a local BNI chapter that I was considering joining. And what happened was I was leaving the meeting, and this really cool car that you see on the screen was sitting in the parking lot. This happened to be it was owned by the president of our chapter. His name is CJ. And at that particular meeting, he announced that his chapter, his Fit Body Boot Camp, was the top Fit Body Boot Camp in all of North America. So I walked by, grabbed my phone, took a really quick picture of this really cool car, and went back home, loaded the picture, and sent this message, letting him know, congratulations, really pretty amazing to be recognized as the franchise of the year. And about a week later, I get a phone call from CJ. And I could hear kind of like it was a little different in his voice. And he just said something like, "What is this? What am I looking at here?" He said, "You have to tell me how you created this. This is amazing." So we met, had a coffee. I shared how I did it, showed him how I took the picture, put it on created it with the app on my phone, and how I sent it. He instantly got what this possibility was with this system. So he then took it back to his organization, or to his local gym, and they started using it, incorporating it, sending cards of celebration to the many clients that they serve. Like if it was their first session, they would literally send them out a card when they reached certain milestones, certain weight losses, just number of sessions attended, and just celebrating people. It went over so well that he then went and shared that with the headquarters or the leadership of Fit Body Boot Camp. And they then adopted it, and they have started using send out cards as one of their primary marketing resources. It is one of their tools that they use to celebrate their customers and clients around North America, actually internationally. So hundreds of gyms impacting hundreds of clients all over the world, celebrating and lifting them up just by a simple picture on the phone that I took, put in the app, sent out, and the rest is kind of history. So if you're watching this and you happen to be a Fit Body client and you've received a card from Send Out Cards, now you know how that all started. The second story that I have is probably a bit more on the tearjerker side, just to kind of preface this a little bit. But what happened was I had this urge, or what we really call a prompting, about Christmas time of last year. And it was just kind of rooted in this sort of random acts of kindness. And I thought, this idea of maybe doing this 12 days of giving. So what I thought I would do is go live on Facebook. I would invite people to nominate someone that they know, care, love, family, friend, coworker, just celebrating them. Could be because they needed some encouragement, could be any number of different things. Well, that invitation turned into 650 nominations after just 12 days. We picked 12 gifts from our gift store to send out. One of those that was nominated, you see him on this screen here. Nate was nominated by a high school friend of mine whom I literally have not seen in 30 years, but I have sent cards to, but I have not seen her in a very long time. She nominated Nate. Nate was one of the people drawn and won. I was going to give him some cookies. I reached out to Angela and I said, hey, really excited. Nate was our winner for one of our 12 days of giving. She replied and said, I'm super excited. That's awesome. This is just really good timing. It's just been a difficult time for Nate and his family. I didn't know Nate. I didn't know anything about Nate or his family. Turns out that a few months prior, Nate had lost his wife. And as you can see, they have some beautiful kids. And so I instantly realized this was going to be this family's year of firsts. And we were approaching the holiday, and it would be the first holiday that they would experience without their wife and without their mother. So I got Ange's to give me his address, created the card. I did go to his Facebook page and found these amazing photos of his family and put this message in there, just acknowledging that this was clearly going to be a difficult year, the year of first, and that I understood the grief, having lost my mom at an early age to cancer as well. And so I was going to gift him these cookies, and that didn't seem right. So it turns out that we had this really cool holiday breakfast experience gift, and I put that in along with the card, sent it out. A week later, I get a Facebook message from Nate, and I could feel the emotion, his appreciation for the kindness and the gesture. And you could just feel the emotion. And he then went on to add that he assumed I had spoken a lot with Angela, my high school friend, because he says, you must know that we're a bunch of foodies. Well, it turns out I had no idea that their whole family were foodies. They loved to be in the kitchen and cook together. I just chose this gift kind of at random, following my promptings. It just kind of made sense. Family come together, spend some time during the holiday. And so that went out, and I just was following my instincts, following my promptings, blessing this family going through an enormously difficult situation. And I'm just so grateful that this system that we have in place gives us this opportunity to celebrate other people, to encourage other people when they're high and when they're low, and that we really have an opportunity to really see them where they are and change people's lives. So those are my stories for tonight. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Mike, so much for sharing. This system is truly amazing for that. This system allows you to build relationships, both personally and professionally, but some of those professional ones become more personal because we do business with people, right? Ultimately, everything is about people and connection in life. And this is truly the best tool I have ever found to build connections. And while you're building those connections, it helps you connect with your purpose, that energy coming back to you. So I had mentioned if you have never tried this system, the best way to try it out is our 10 card challenge, right? So you get 10 cards for $20 to be used in 20 days, 10 cards, $20, 20 days. And that includes the postage to anywhere in the world. So if you've never tried our system, I'm going to challenge you to get back with that person who invited you on, join our 10 card challenge, and try this for yourself. You're not only going to change the 10 lives of the people you sent it out to, but 11th life being your own. If you've already tried our 10 card challenge, and that's why you're here tonight, because you wanted to learn more about promptings, let me recommend our prompting mechanism, heartfelt heartfelt cards. $37 a month gives you 20 cards, including stamps, anywhere in the world. We also have our 97 unlimited heartfelt prompting cards. Any of those unique heartfelt prompting cards, no matter if you send 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 of those a day, are included in that. We also have card packages. So when Marcia was talking about those system cards or that card she sent to 10 people, we have options there. And for someone that really connected tonight, let me recommend our Promptings Process Package. It's a one-time $497 fee that gets you connected, everything promptings, including your first month of that 97 unlimited. From there, you just pay $97 a month. It gives you 100 system cards to get started. It gives you 2 hours of our virtual assistant service to help you get everything set up, get all your contacts in. It gives you a coach, a promptings coach to help you. It gives you our upcoming 3 tickets to our upcoming prompting seminar, our next one virtual and live on August 19th, and also includes our relationship marketing course. I know that was a lot of information, so I want you, when we're done here, get back with that person who invited you. Get your questions answered. They can help you figure out what is best for your needs. Here at Promptings, we also have an opportunity. You can become part of Promptings, share this with others, and get paid to do so. If you've got questions on that, again, ask that person who invited you. Here's the thing. We want you to get started today. This is an amazing system. Again, don't know where to start. Start on that 10 card challenge. Go out over the next 20 days, send 10 cards out to people that you care about, letting them know that you're grateful for them, that you appreciate them, that they matter. That will make a difference. So get started today, get back with that person who invited you, and let me be the very first person to welcome you to Promptings. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.